In addition to your just basic update, telling people what you're doing, one of the other common types of updates is what we call a retweet. Now, what is it, a retweet? Well, here's a good example right here. This security company here, Paladin Security, has retweeted, it says RT at B Davenport 57, and it talks about a particular update that's related to their community and health. Now, what that RT means is they originally saw that update on Davenport's profile. Let's take a look here. So here's that particular update right here. And what they've done is, in essence, they've cut and pasted his update and put an RT in front mentioning his name. And so what it says to their audience is, hey, we're sharing an update from Blair that I think you'll find interesting. It does two things. Number one of the things it says to my audience is, hey, I'm willing to share content that just isn't my own. And two, for Blair, what it does is it kind of builds a relationship, because he says, hey, look, these guys are sharing my content. They're interested in what I have to say. Maybe I should be paying attention to what they're doing and return the favor. So the retweet is actually one of the most effective ways, in my opinion, to build relationship, community, kind of give recognition to other people, but also to show your audience that you're willing to curate content beyond your own marketing materials, insightful and informative information that they would find valuable. There's a couple ways to do a retweet. One is what I would call, I guess, this RT version, which is the old school version. And then there is what we call the native Twitter interface, which allows us just to click a retweet button and share it automatically with our followers. So I'll show you the difference between these two types of updates and what they look like. So number one, let's take a look at this update by Mitch Ballantyne. So we've got his update here, and he's talking about the importance of humility in sales. I've checked out this article earlier. It's quite interesting. And so what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to retweet this here. Click the button. It'll prompt me to retweet it. And I've actually shared Mitch's update with my audience. So if I go back to my actual main homepage, what you'll find here is in my home feed, it actually shows Mitch tweeting. But if we mouse over here, it says retweeted by Socialized Academy. So anybody following my account, not Mitch's, but anybody following my account would see Mitch's update in their stream because I've shared his update. So that's one thing you can do. So Mitch will be notified that someone has shared his update. In addition to this, of course, my audience has seen it. Now, there's another way to do this as well. So I could take Mitch's update, for instance. And instead of doing that, I could actually copy and paste it. And then reply to him, but do a little RT, retweet at Mitch Ballin, and then do it that way. And so the difference is, of course, if you look at your profile, your home feed, your audience doesn't see it as Mitch, but you sharing an update of Mitch's. So those are two ways to do a retweet. So one of the reasons why we do retweets, again, is number one, it gets me noticed by Mitch, who may be an influencer in the community, and sees that, hey, I'm a fan of his and sharing his content. Number two, if you just take someone's update and share it with the link and don't give them credit, in many cases it's seen as bad form or bad etiquette. And number three, your audience sees the fact that you're willing to curate and find great articles and information for them and share it with them. In essence, they start to begin to see you as a go-to source for information in a particular vertical. So those are retweets. The next type of update we see, and often in many cases, will include something we call a hashtag. So a hashtag, for instance, might be where I'm going to do a particular update. So let's say that I've done a tweet and it's a social media tip. A hashtag is in essence a tag which indicates what the tweet's topic is about. And one of the reasons why you want to do this, for instance, is that people will often follow hashtags globally. So I'm going to tag this with the term marketing, the term sales, and the term social media. So I've tagged it with topics. So here we have this tweet that we've posted, and we've tagged it with these topics. Now what happens while we want to do this is people often search for these specific topics based upon their interest. So if I'm interested in sales and I search for hashtag sales, what it does is it actually produces all of the updates that are happening around the world on this particular topic. So in essence, when you tag these topics, it's an interesting way to help other people find you if they're interested in the same topic. And so it's a way to market your content, also have people find you that wouldn't normally maybe connect with you because they don't know you exist. In addition to this, it's also a great way for you to do these searches and find other people in the marketplace who also resonate with what you're interested in. So the next type of update I want to talk about is links. We talked about retweets, hashtags, just general here's what I'm doing updates, but links to content. Content sharing, of course, on Twitter is one of the most popular types of tweets you're going to find. It's one of the most effective uses for it as well, beyond having great conversations. So what I say I've got here is I've found a blog post on Pinterest and visual marketing of social media. So if I like this, what I might do is cut and paste the URL and simply post a tweet. So interesting article about visual marketing and Pinterest, and then I post my link here. So a simple way to share your content. So that's about as difficult as it is to actually share links to your sites or to interesting articles you found or even promoting other people in the community. So we can see here is now we've got a series of tweets. So if I came across your profile, even though you're brand new, I would look at this and say, okay, he's sharing interesting articles, he's sharing tips, he's actually retweeting and sharing other people's content, and really, you know, there's probably a human being behind here. What's really missing beyond that, of course, is the conversation. So what I mean by this is, by looking at this profile, it still looks like a one-way Twitter account. This person is just pushing out links and sharing links. So what I also want to see is there's some conversation happening here, because that's one of the other major uses of social media. So maybe I'll go back to Mitch's profile here. And I may thank him for that post he's done. So I'm going to reply to him and say, hey, thanks, Mitch, for that great article. So although this seems kind of mundane, what it does is I'm reaching out to a new person I've just followed. I've shared their update, which has built a bit of a relationship so far, but I've also thanked them. And the goal is, of course, is to begin that conversation. A big part of marketing today in social media is that conversation. Everyone who follows him and is following you sees that dialogue, and that also helps form an opinion and understanding of what you're about, what's important to you, and why they want to interact with you. So now we look at this formula here, or this particular post, and we'll see here with the Academy that we've now got a series of interactions that show some diversity. So now if this particular account follows you and you click on their profile to check them out, it actually looks like there's an engaging brand there, out having a conversation, wanting to connect with people, sharing interesting insights on an ongoing basis.